It's a dull, dreary day over here in the California Bay Area. And while for many of you the season may be winding down over here, we're just getting started with a brand new set of plantings in the GREENSTAK. Hey folks, if we haven't met before, my name is Tara. I garden, like I said, in the Bay Area, and I am the proud owner of 14. Yeah, you heard that right. 14 GREENSTAKs. Now, I know a lot of you have really stocked up on GREENSTAKs during the recent warehouse sale, and you've probably beaten me. So let me know in the comments below how many GREENSTAKs you bought at the sale and how many you currently own. But today we are going to be talking all about GREENSTAK accessories. Now, if you're watching this video in November 2025, it's a really exciting time because we are on the cusp of a major GREENSTAK sale. It's called the 12 Days of Doorbusters, our favorite things. It runs from November 20th through December 1st. And the way that it works is that every day starting November 20th, they will have a new favorite item of theirs, a favorite accessory that is available for you to purchase at a great discount. Now, they've just released the list of what items are going to be available on what day, and so I will put that list right here for your convenience and for your planning. And the way that it's going to work is that at midnight Eastern time every day they will change out to the next item. So if you want some item that is potentially going to be in high demand, you better set your alarm clock and wake up early. Now, one thing to be aware of is that the limit for free shipping is $75. So we'll talk about that at the end of this video as well as to how to plan to get the best deals and the best prices. Okay, so today we're going to be talking, of course, all about the GREENSTAK accessories. I'll talk about the ones that I own, the pros and the cons that I've experienced so far. I'll also talk a little bit about the ones that I don't own. For example, the frost cover, I don't really need that in the Bay Area. And then we're going to be talking about which ones I consider to be essential versus which ones are kind of nice to have, let's put it that way, because all GREENSTAK accessories are very nice to have. And then finally, we'll talk about the sales and how to make the most of it and get the very best deals. Okay, so in the spirit of anti-consumerism, I have to put a disclaimer out there. So I was reading a book a few weeks ago. It's called Atomic Habits by a guy by the name of James Clear. Really good book on how to form habits that will stick. And he was talking about the story, this ancient philosopher, not so ancient actually, 1769, a French philosopher by the name of Denis Diderot, or Denis Diderot, I don't know how it's pronounced. But Denis Diderot wrote an essay called The Regrets on Parting with My Old Dressing Gown. And basically the story goes that he got a dressing gown, a scarlet, beautiful, elegant scarlet dressing gown as a gift and loved it so much, wore it all the time, and suddenly started to notice that the rest of his stuff was not looking so elegant anymore. So he started replacing things. He first replaced his old straw chair with a nice armchair made of Moroccan leather. He replaced his writing desk with a brand new writing desk. He started replacing all his paintings, much loved paintings, with brand new paintings, and so on and so forth. Anyway, long story short, I kind of think about my GREENSTAKs a little bit in the context of the Diderot effect. You get the GREENSTAKs, they look beautiful, and then suddenly your old plastic 5-gallon pots are not looking so good anymore. Your grow bags are looking gross, and you start replacing them. And suddenly the GREENSTAKs become this sort of jigsaw puzzle that is kind of gluing your whole garden together, and everything is being built around your GREENSTAKs, right? Okay, so that's the Diderot effect. And as we talk about accessories, you'll kind of see what I mean. You get a GREENSTAK, and before you know it, you're getting the labels, you're getting the seed houses, you're getting the irrigation, you're getting the ultimate spinner, and everything has to look and match and fit beautifully, right? So anyway, got that off my chest. Now let's talk about accessories. Okay, so I'm actually going to go through the list of accessories in the order that GREENSTAK has it listed on their website as of November 2025, starting with the bases, and then we'll go through seed starting, garden planning, plant support, plant care, plant protection, watering. And then there's GREENSTAK merch and clearance, which are actually pretty cool. We'll touch on a few items over there as well. But I posted actually a poll in my YouTube channel a few weeks ago, right after the warehouse clearance sale. And I said, okay, accessories. Which accessories are your favorites? Which ones are you most looking forward to? And guess what most people said? The ultimate spinner, right? So let's start with that. Let's talk about the bases. And I've got both, actually. I've got the ultimate spinner and I've got the mover. And we'll talk a little bit about the pros and cons that I see in those and why you might want to get one versus the other. So let's go over to the other side where I've got my two new GREENSTALKs set up. The new snow color, which is not yet released. I've combined that with Glacier Blue. So pretty. And I'll show you my blueberry, which is sitting on a mover. So these are my lovely Glacier Blue and Snow combo GREENSTALKs. I'm not big on the color combo thing, you guys. So this was my first sort of tippy toe, putting my toes in the water kind of thing with this combination. And white actually, or snow, goes with any color, blends so easily, looks absolutely beautiful, right? So they're both sitting on the ultimate, actually not the ultimate spinner. So the difference is you've got the spinner bases, and then you've got the movers, and the spinner bases have the option of coming with wheels. And when they come with the wheels, they're called the ultimate spinners. But you absolutely need to be able to spin your GREENSTALK. So it's got to be on some kind of base, whether that be a mover or a spinner. But the beauty of the spinner, let me bring you up close. Yeah, this is the beauty of the spinner. With one finger, literally with one finger, I can spin this 4-tier original GREENSTALK. I can spin the 5-tier as well. It is super silky smooth to spin. And yeah, you do need to be able to do that, because if you've got your GREENSTALK somewhere where the light is not evenly distributed, the plants in the front, or the ones that are facing the light, will grow well, and the ones that are not facing the light just won't grow well. So you have to be able to spin it or put it somewhere where it's getting equal light distribution on all sides, which is not that easy to do. Let me show you the mover. So yeah, the spinner is my absolute favorite accessory. I do have the wheels, but I took them off for this because I was going to be putting them on this tile. And even though the spinner wheels have the locking kind of thing, they're just, I don't really need them when they're on that tile. So, and the reason for the tile, by the way, is because I like to be able to drain, and I want to give the GREENSTALK a little bit of elevation so that it can drain this way, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let me show you the mover. So this one is sitting on a mover. Now this mover, I actually bought this little tray for it that is used to collect water. It's kind of filthy. And it only works with the mover, though. It doesn't work with the ultimate spinner. So if you've got a GREENSTALK that is sitting on a surface that you absolutely don't want to get dirty with water that overflows, then you want something like this, or you want to be able to catch the water somehow. And this is nice. It kind of hides underneath and you don't see it, right? Now, I don't really need it because, frankly, I don't mind if the water overflows. So I don't use this a lot. And you do want to remove it if you're going to move the GREENSTALK. Now, the thing about the mover, I think it actually holds the GREENSTALK a lot sturdier, a lot tighter than the spinner base than the ultimate spinner does. So if you live in a climate where there's a lot of winds and you are worried about your GREENSTALK toppling, then you may want to consider getting the mover instead of the spinner. Also, the mover moves really well on flat surfaces, as well as a little bit more wobbly surfaces compared to the ultimate spinner. So your choice. My favorite, hands down, is the ultimate spinner. And I just wanted to try out the mover. I still feel that the ultimate spinner is the right choice for me. So while we walk back to the other side, I just wanted to share, when I first got started with the GREENSTALKs, I was trying to be a little bit careful with what I spent my money on. And I figured that, for the movers, just get something from Home Depot or whatever and put under it. Actually, I got from Amazon a little bit cheaper than what GREENSTALK sells for. So I got like 5 of them. I had to replace all of them. Number one, the GREENSTALK is really heavy. So any cheapo that you get online or even in Home Depot or wherever, big box store, you got to make sure that it will carry the weight of your GREENSTALK. And the ones that I got, I didn't think about that. So yeah, they started to bend and break and crack, and Then they started falling over. It was just a mess. So I replaced all of them. Now I hear that there are some good ones out there. Some of my viewers have talked about, like DeVault, I think, makes one that is supposed to carry a weight of about like 500 pounds. But I think it's a wash when it comes to the price. It's also not that cheap, and might as well just get the GreenStalk authentic stuff. That's my opinion. Okay, now we're getting to some of my really favorite optional items. This is the seed starting section, and they've got the seed houses and the GreenStalk seed starter kit. Now, I absolutely love the seed houses. And they are supposed to keep, let me actually show you mine, but they're supposed to keep the seeds nice and warm and the soil nice and moist until the seeds germinate. That's really the intent of it. But I'm using it for a completely different purpose. Let me show you. So I am direct seeding a whole bunch of root vegetables in this GreenStalk. I've got radish, carrots, and over here I've got some beets that have already started sprouting. By the way, tell me about this, you guys. I'm not able to grow Brussels sprouts in my climate. Brussels sprouts have a really long growing season, and they require cool weather through that growing season. I just don't have enough cool days. But this one seems to be growing, but are those like goners? I mean, are they never going to mature and become nice, large Brussels sprouts? I'm just so excited that at least one plant got to this stage. Usually it's bolting by then. Anyway, back to the seed houses. So yeah, they do perform the great function of keeping the seeds nice and moist and the soil in there until the seeds germinate. But for me, the biggest reason that they help with is they keep the squirrels out. I mean, I have a few other places where the squirrels I had to actually replant this because the squirrels just came and dug and planted their acorns over there. And I use these also. So I've got carrots. Actually, you can see a carrot starting to germinate there. So I've got to remove this. But yeah, I made these out of, the lawn chair kind of fabric. We had some extra, so I cut that into shape. Kind of lets the light through. You can see. So it's kind of nice. But yeah, the seed houses are ideal. I just was trying to do a DIY option over here. So yeah, definitely seed houses are wonderful. You can actually even water. It's flexible enough that you can pocket water if you need to. And they are one of my favorite optional GreenStalk accessories. Let me show you the seed starter kits. Walking into my very messy greenhouse. It's on the list of things to do. But yeah, this is the seed starter kit. I really like this, and there are some things about it that are not ideal, and I'll talk about that in just a moment, but this is the beautiful blackberry color, and I like getting seed starter kits in the darker colors because I've got hard water and my GreenStalks actually show stains when they're in the darker colors. So I am trying to get lighter colors for my GreenStalks and darker colors for the seed starting because they show less dirt. So say, for example, this one, yeah, it's a little bit more obvious, right? But the blackberry, not as obvious. But I love the handle. I love the fact that it doubles up as a harvest basket. I use it as that all the time. And it's got a little tray underneath that you can use for bottom watering. It really is a great deal, especially if you can get this on sale. I've got one in terracotta over here as well. Now, one thing that people have asked is, hey, does this thing fit on the standard shelves? And yeah, it kind of barely fits. Now, most of the seed starting sort of heat mats and things come in the 10-20 size, but this one actually does fit in the shelves that I've got, the seed starting shelves that I've got. So it's not a big thing, but it's definitely a non-standard size, just something for you to be aware of. And then, of course, the other thing is the label, right? Does the label sit easily because it's got this pretty little flower shape? And yeah, if that matters to you, then get the GreenStalk wooden labels. They've got a spike at the end, so it'll fit nicer than these flat labels will fit. Yeah, but the seed starting trays are what I consider the Diderot effect in action, because you get the terracotta GreenStalks and you want the terracotta seed starting tray, or the blackberry GreenStalks and you want the blackberry seed starting tray. So yeah, it all needs to match and fit together because we got to do things that bring us joy, right? We deserve it. We're worth it. All right, the next one is garden planning. And under garden planning, you've got the GREENSTALK magazine, you've got the garden journal, and you've got the edible plant guide. So starting with the GREENSTALK magazine, actually, this is a great point for me to share with you that I am a GREENSTALK affiliate, and I sure would appreciate it if you use my code. That's the QR code over there that will take you to my affiliate link, and it automatically gives you a discount of $10. So if you use that, I sure would appreciate it. And I'd also appreciate a like to this video because that will help the video spread around, and it'll also show you more of my content whenever I create any. So I really, really appreciate your support. But speaking of the GREENSTALK magazine, number one, there are many reasons you want to get it. There's all kinds of fun stuff in there, tips and tricks. There's also a lot of GREENSTALKers that are featured and the things that they're doing that are interesting about their GREENSTALKs. And then there is the code. Right? So there is a code that you will only get access to if you buy a GREENSTALK magazine. And that code, every quarter or so, I think, they change what you can get for free when you make a purchase of, I don't know, $50 or something like that. You will get an item for free, and that item is different. One time it was the GREENSTALK spinner. And so you could buy something $50 and you got the spinner for free. And they've actually had that a couple of times. So yeah, that's a great code to have. And if you use my link, then I will still get credit for it, even if you don't use my code, if you use the GREENSTALK magazine code. But yeah, definitely you want to get the GREENSTALK magazine. They've got a digital version as well as a hard copy version. And then there's the garden journal. I actually have it. I haven't started using it, but I will be using it to plan next year's GREENSTALK. And I actually started thinking about it. It's got this little card over here that I've put with all the things that you can grow in the leaf and the original and cool weather and the warm weather plants and so on and so forth. It's got a little calendar in here, and then it's got planting maps. And these planting maps look like this. So basically, you can decide what you want to plant in each tier, the date planted, and any comments that you may have about it. And it's lovely to have a planting journal because I used to do these online journals, but then I realized that once you're gone, the digital ether that you have created is gone with you, and no one's going to find any of your digital journaling. So if you use something like this, maybe your kids or grandkids might look at it and say, oh, look at that, look at grandma's handwriting, just like I do with my grand's recipe books. They're extremely special. So yeah, get something like this. It really will make you feel good, and it's very special to the future generations. And then there is the edible plant guide. Now this one, super useful. It's put together by the head gardener in GREENSTALK, lead gardener. Her name is Susie. She is wonderful. And it tells you all the plants basically that you can grow, the common ones that you would grow in the GREENSTALK. Tells you about how to start, plant size, support needed or not, etc. And then there's this gardener's notes section. And this is some special notes that Susie has made from her experience of growing these plants in the GREENSTALK. So yeah, this is also a must-have in my book. And especially if you're a beginner gardener or a beginner GREENSTALKer, you want to get one of these. All right, now let's talk about plant support. And under plant support, they've got the GREENSTALK trellis, they've got the plant support, and they've got the stainless steel plant markers. So I'll show you the stainless steel markers over here. Go to the other side and I will show you the plant supports. I actually made an entire video on how to do all kinds of DIY trellising for the GREENSTALK. I'll put a link to it over here somewhere in case you're interested. And I've also got an entire playlist, you guys, of all things GREENSTALK. And yeah, it's curated in order so you can watch one and then the other, and it kind of grows, the knowledge grows based on the previous one and so on and so forth. So I think it would be super useful, especially if you're a beginner GREENSTALKer. And I think even if you've been GREENSTALKing for a while and using it like a verb, I think you will maybe hopefully learn a thing or two. So yeah, let's take a look at the trellises. So yeah, these stainless steel trellises, actually, let me pull this one out. really sturdy garden staples is what they are. I don't know whether you can write directly on it with a Sharpie marker. I figure you can, but I used this masking tape to write on it, and you can stick it right in here. And the nice thing about it and why it's considered a plant support is because, say you grow a cucumber or a tomato plant up here, and you can actually tie a little string and then hoop it onto this, and you've got a nice stable thing holding onto your plant. Now let me show you the other trellises. So I actually don't have one of those plant support things put up. I actually took them all down for winter because I didn't really need it. But I use it in summer when I want to, say, grow a large tomato plant, or I want to wrap a cucumber plant around the plant support. And I like it. It's okay, but for me, it's one of those optional supports. But what I really like, I didn't think that this would be on my not so optional list, but this trellis. This is a fantastic trellis, and I've tried all kinds. I've tried this little one. A lot of people recommended this. I hate this. It just doesn't have long enough feet. It's so flimsy, it's brittle, it's cheap, and it's one of those cheap plastic things that you're going to throw away. It's going to start breaking, and it just doesn't do the job, right? This one, on the other hand, it really holds the plants up. So it slides nicely in. And yeah, the plants, I actually have petunias growing. Let me show you. Yeah, so I planted these petunias from seeds, you guys. Greetings from Jeremiah is the name. I absolutely love them. I wish I planted them sooner. I planted them late summer, and now it's kind of too cold and they're starting to die off, but I'm definitely growing them again next year. But they have very brittle stems, and so they were falling over. And then when I put this, they were so happy, and they really thanked me. I could hear them thanking me when I put the trellis in and held them up. They were like, "Oh, thank you, we won't break anymore." So yeah, do you talk to your plants, or am I just crazy? Anyway, so that trellis is great. And the other nice thing about this trellis is if you put the plant support in the next level up from it, I know this is on the top, but say over here, and then you have the plant support over here, then this sort of graduates the plant from this trellis onto the plant support, if you can imagine what I mean. They fit together really, really nicely. Yeah, but definitely watch that DIY trellising thing if you have a chance. I've done all kinds of fun stuff. And then I've also got the Texas tomato cages uh, where I planted peas at the beginning of the season this year. And I planted them really, really high. And yeah, they fell. But it was just such a fun experiment. I love pushing my green stalks to the limit. Getting quite a bit of a workout walking back and forth between my front and my backyard. And then I come over here and my husband has taken my computer away because he says it's going to rain. But brought it out again, and I hope it's not going to rain, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. Let's go to the next one, which is plant care. And again, this one is what I consider optional items, right? So you've got the garden shears. If you've got Felco pruners like I do, maybe you don't need it, but if you don't, I hear these are really good. And then you've got the fertilizers. You've got the Fox Farm Grow Big fertilizer and the Fox Farm Organic Jumpstart fertilizer. I have not used either of them, so I can't really talk about them, but I've heard really, really great things about them. So one thing that you may want to be aware of is if you are one of those people that really wants to make sure that your plants are growing organically, then the Grow Big fertilizer is not organic, but the other one is. I think they've got another one which is. So make sure you double check that. And then plant protection. So Seed House interestingly shows up again in plant protection because I think a lot of us are using it to protect our plants against critters. I don't think they had that as the intent when they made the seed houses, but gosh, everybody is using it for that, including me. So the other thing, of course, are the insect netting and the frost cover. Now, I don't have the frost cover, thinking maybe I don't need it because the plants that I plant in my green stalks in winter are fairly okay when it comes to mild frost. We only get very mild frost, barely freezing point over here. In February, we get a lot of those frost days, but everything in my green stalk, all my lettuce and my broccoli and all of that stuff holds up really well. but I do have a lot of insects. So cabbage moths and things like that, they lay their eggs. So this has been really, really helpful. And this also has that pest protection thing from squirrels. I did a live stream. I do live streams, by the way, every Saturday, every first Saturday of the month on the topic of green stocks. So put that on your calendar if you want to chat with me about green stocks. First Saturday of every month at 10 a.m. Eastern, no, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So one day I had put this frost cover on, this insect netting on, and I opened it up to show the people in the live stream, and I forgot to close it. I'm not kidding you guys. I went inside for like maybe 15 minutes and I came out and all my broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower, the tips had been bitten off by squirrels. And once that happens with those vegetables, you pretty much got to start over because that main head is gone, right? So yeah, this one really protects more than just the insects, but definitely squirrels. I love my squirrels and I hate them at the same time. What's your favorite pest in the garden? Anyway, watering. Now, this is something that is not optional in my book. I think that irrigation has made the biggest difference to my green stalks. When I started the irrigation, my green stalks exploded in growth. It was just dramatic. So if you don't want to buy green stalks irrigation system, then DIY it. I DIY'd all of mine. If you've got a little bit of handy person skills, it's not that hard to do. Now, green stock stuff does come nicely matching and looks good. And if you buy it online or big box store or wherever, you got to make sure that the parts, you're getting the right parts and all of that. So it's a little bit of a pain. So do that or just get the green stock stuff when it's on sale. You really need irrigation. Now, there are a couple of things that I'm not going to be doing irrigation for. Strawberries are one of them because I feel that I overwatered my strawberries and because of that they tasted watery. So I'm not going to be doing irrigation for my strawberries anymore. I'm going to be hand watering them. But other than that, I'm pretty much going to be setting up irrigation for all my green stalks. I have actually my raspberries. Let me show you actually. Yeah, so these raspberries are coming into their second spring. They were completely overgrown. They looked so beautiful in spring, covered in flowers, and I'm hoping that they'll do that again. These marguerite daisies were just covered in pink flowers, but then they really got overgrown. My point being is that I've got irrigation set up for both these raspberry green stalks, and I did nothing. I did not pocket water. I did not top water. The irrigation did everything. I didn't even fertilize because flowers don't need that much, but these green stalks grew like crazy. They were absolutely zero maintenance, and I attribute it all to the irrigation. So while we're here, let's talk about the lids as well. Now, they've got two kinds of lids. One is the garden lid, and that's this cute little lid with the leaf and with that bumblebee. Look. Some people say that these lids fly off when there's strong winds. I've not had that happen, but if you've had that happen to you, let me know what you're doing to deal with it. Are you putting something heavy on top or something? Anyway, this bumblebee, cutest little thing, I think that it'll also look cute with like a dragonfly or maybe a ladybug. Though the ladybug, well, it's red, so with certain colors it may not match. Aren't the ladybugs in other colors as well, like yellow and green and stuff? So anyway, if you have any ideas on what else you'd like to see on the lid, do leave it in the comments below. But my point was that there are two kinds of lids. So there's this lid, and then there is what's called the spring lid, and it's got this little hole over here, and this is the one that is actually sold as part of the irrigation kit. And if you already have the lid, you can call them and let them know, and they'll hold it off for you and they will give you a discount. Or I think actually you can buy a package, a bundle, which does not include the lid, but go check in the green stock listings to see whether you can do that. But I like this lid so much, you guys, that I am actually willing to compromise on the perfect fit. This is where the irrigation hose will go through. And I actually just kind of leave it open a crack like this. And I let it work that way because I really, really like this lid. Now, one thing that Greenstock does sell separately, but to fit with their irrigation, is a timer. You do need a timer. And if you don't buy Greenstock's timer, it's not made by them. I think they've partnered with some company, but yeah, you can get timers basically. You can get any no-name brand or non-GreenStalk brand, but you do need a timer that is connected to your watering hose. I use Rainpoint. I'll put a link to it in the comments in case you're interested. It works pretty well for me. I just ran inside to bring the GreenStalk merch, my favorite merch. You've seen this hat many, many times. Love my wide-brimmed hat and these cups, you guys. So GreenStalk in itself is an all-American company, and they partner with a lot of companies that, small, made-in-America type companies. This is one of them. I believe it's a company called Black Oak, but they are handmade, each of these cups. Dishwasher safe, microwave safe. They have 12 ounces capacity. This is the terracotta color. This is the blackberry color. I love these. So yeah, support your local small businesses, local or not, small businesses, made in the United States, handmade. It's a dying breed, right? Handmade stuff. I also love their sourdough towel. I also love their sourdough towels. I can never pronounce that. But yeah, they're nice and soft, extra large, and I love making pizza dough, sourdough. It works really, really well. So yeah, something to consider. And they have some on clearance right now. I think it's got some sort of Halloween theme to it, but hey, just a sourdough towel. You can use it, even if it's not Halloween, right? All right, so now let's talk about some money-saving tactics and how to get some really great deals. The first thing is free shipping. I want to talk a little bit about free shipping. Now, right now for this particular sale that's coming up, the free shipping limit is $75. So if you're buying something like the seed houses as an example for like $5, it's going to be hard for you to meet that free shipping limit. So you might want to consider pooling resources with a friend, or maybe buying something else that you've always wanted to get to make that $75 limit. The other thing is just pay for shipping, you guys. So the thing about free shipping is it's not really free, right? GreenStalk makes no money at all on shipping. So whatever they charge you for shipping is what the shipping company charges them. So if you want to save money on shipping, then really it's either you saving the money or GreenStalk saving the money. And if it's not very much, I would rather just pay for the shipping rather than have GreenStalk pick up the tab in the free shipping thing, because again, small family business, United States, and yeah, we want to support our small businesses, right? The next thing is the sales. Now, I think the sales are kind of like part of GreenStalk's strategy, especially last year. They've had some incredible sales. In fact, there were 1 to 2 sales like every month, right? They've got the flash sales. The flash sales are really awesome. They usually have the best deal on whatever is on flash sale. And they've had, like I said, a few for the spinners. And yeah, you want to catch those flash deals. If you need something, don't expect the price to get too much lower than that, right? The warehouse clearance sale was an extremely unusual, never before type of sale. And I don't think they're going to be having very many of those. So GreenStalk's sales strategy obviously is theirs, and it's up to them whether they want to do it, whether they don't want to do it, what they want to do it on. So you can't really rely on the sales happening a certain way. In fact, this year, people have been so used to Mother's Day being like this amazing sale, right? Every year Mother's Day was like the best sale. This year it was like, wasn't that great? And I think partly is because they knew that the big warehouse sale was coming up. So they didn't really want to do 2 major sales, right? But yeah, that's the kind of thing that if you get too used to a particular kind of sale, then you may get disappointed. So keep that in mind. But yeah, it seems like at least this year, they really focused on sales to increase their sales. And then always check the clearance items. There are some great items that are on clearance, and especially colors, because colors are part of their strategy, bringing in the new, taking away the old. They always have really, really good sales, especially on colors that are either being retired or are limited edition. Always check the clearance. There's always really cool merch available in the clearance as well. We got some great seed starting trays for unbelievable prices not too long ago in the clearance section. So constantly keep an eye on that. And then, of course, always use a coupon code. There are always coupons available from your favorite GreenStalk affiliates. Mine is GreenLove10, shameless plug. But yeah, definitely use coupon codes. And magazine coupon code is really great. And if you use my link, like I said, I'll still get credit for it. So use my link if you don't mind, and then use the magazine code if there's something really special that you want to get that the magazine code will get for you. So the snow planters are finally being released. I got the pre-release version, and I have combined it with Glacier Blue, which is going to be that limited partner color that they're going to be doing this winter. I wonder how I knew. Affiliate perks. So what I wanted to say was that I've got a lot of green stalks, and it takes quite a bit of money to buy premium soil, the Fox Farm soil, whatever Greenstock recommends, the Pro Mix. Those are expensive soils, and if you don't get them on sale, you're going to be paying a pretty penny for them. So what I do is I actually make my own DIY soil for it, and that not just saves money. I know exactly what's going in it. I use my homemade compost. I use my own homemade worm castings, and all my green stalks do really, really well. So I am biased, but I think I've got one of the best recipes on the internet for greenstock soil. And if you want to see how I make my greenstock soil, I'm not doing any gatekeeping here. You can check this video right here.